Reject arriving from the north. I mean, everyone's starting to accumulate here in one place, and for good reason, because Jurassic Park, like you said, it's difficult to get into later.
Well, Coastal Camp is looking busier than maybe it should at this point of the game. Down on that southern side is Dinos and TLM Pirates have a little poke at each other. Zidane nearly got his head ripped off. That was terrifying.
I tell you what, Zidane is not going to be
Ballistic.
out of danger just yet. Yeah, Ballistic, something a little bit different.
There's a breach charge. Zidane 1 HP, flying up, pretending he's a palm tree. J Future on controller, cannot locate him. His teammate, however, Chaos Feelings is going to be able to do so. That's going to be Zidane down, and that is the IGL knocked.
So Dino's playing confident going into this last one, and perhaps rightly so, going up against Pirates, who are in last position, only 2 points right now.
That way.
And it looks like they are going to try and retreat and survive, as Dinos will at least take the minor victory of being able to pick up 1 KP and, of course, gain so much space and looting process along the way.
Maybe surprised by seeing that Whistler flying in towards him. Zidane was like, wait, there's a ballistic? I mean, that thing hits for 50 now. It really does do some damage. That's TL. I wonder if Zero's thinking it'd be nice to have these zones a little bit later on in the tournament.
Yeah. Can we get these
You're not
during
going
the
to say
finals,
no,
please?
Don't get me wrong, but you'd certainly love them in the finals. They're going to be playing this egg at the moment, which is going to be on the southern side of Jurassic's. Ninjas in Pajamas in problems once again. Trying to move through that tunnel. It looks like they're going to be able to at least portal Kurev out to safety. But Dogrid do get that knock, and you have to wonder if they're going to try and push this one. They've also got Axel, so they've got that Nitro Gate down. They are closing this gap, and Kurev is not going to be able to get healthy.
They are zooming. At least they got fences down. They've been able to play this one. Great nade as well. You have to back off. That's just going to allow them to get healthy enough to protect themselves. But this is going to bring a lot of attention to the rest of the lobby. And it looks like Dogred are just going to say, all right, we don't need to overcommit to this one. I like the speed of which they did try to engage, but you also have to be smart enough to get out when you realize that it's just not worth your time.
That was a little bit scary, not gonna lie, for Ninjas in Pajamas fans. That would have been a very disappointing end to this series had they fallen early. Now Alliance, what have you got in this game 6? We've seen them go to the well so many times, and it's looked like
We can jet over there.
there's no hope for them in having a good day and a nice conversation at the end of the day about how things went and the points total. And they seem to always pull something out. Is that Alliance magic still there in this game 6?
It's another difficult rotation for them, and sure, they still do have the fallback of being on the Valkyrie, being able to throw themselves into zone, but now you don't have that Newcastle to play with. So they've gone for something a little bit different. They will have the fallback of Alter to work with, Bangalore as well to give them help crossing with the smoke. And I just wonder if there's a little bit too much left to do for some of these teams. That being said, I think when you get to this point, you have to look at the bigger picture. Like, okay, we're not going to win the lobby. Okay, we're not going to get to top 5. It's about making sure we're not at the bottom of the lobby, and we are at least getting to the next round, or at least giving ourselves a chance when we get into the next group stage games.
Well, that zipline is extensive. RRQ try and hold this off. TLM Pirates has just been eliminated by the well, and Dinos might be next. You can see Easy Flash is flicking all over the place right now. But that reticle is landing exactly where it needs to be. J Future is the player down here for Dinos. They're going to try and push this one. RRQ trying to get a position to keep Pricey alive, who is taking a little bit of damage himself. The gen's going down. And this is completely isolated here, RRQ versus Dinos. One player has managed to escape and is just running down to the southern side of things. It's DJ Killer, who's going to be able to scupper away from the attention. For now. There's an evac going down. I'm
RRQ
worried for his life.
Popped said evac, and I'm wondering whether that's going to be a chasing evac or just a reposition to the fence line evac. It looks like it's a search crew, but we check back in with Dog Red after they retreated from the previous fight with NIP. Now they're looking to be aggressive yet again and try and put Axel to work here. The Sparrow provides that information, and then the Axel Nitro Gates get dropped down, and you engage as quick as possible, especially off the back of some damage from the triple take here.
Up to purple. Goes Got Gas.
Sights on an enemy.
Have the option to have Multiple ultimates available. That Stinger Bolt, if they can get it kind of threaded inside of one of those buildings or force Zipline Mafia off this height, it makes it very, very interesting. They've got to be careful though, because Neo are behind them on that high ground and they were not aware of it. They have found themselves in a pinch.
So frustrating when you've done that much work to apply the damage and to be aggressive, and then sadly you get a taste of your own medicine as the aggression arrives from behind you as well, as Neo will be able to work in tandem with Zipline Mafia to do the damage to Dog Red. Even though one that was able to get away initially, now they'll be eliminated, and Zipline Mafia will probably be laughing at that one, saying that's what you get. But to be fair, Dog Red kind of had to move that way. They probably felt take advantage of Zipline Mafia being out of position. And now this should be isolated. No one else really to join in on this one, you'd think. But Alliance have just appeared on my screen from the northern side. Very late rotation from them.
Yeah, all the way from wall. They're hitting the evac right now. Wonder if they're going to just have a little bit of a stop here and collect some Evo, hit that survey beacon. It looks exactly what the play is going to be, and they might be about to wander in behind Neo. So we'll have to see if there's going to be a little bit of a pinch going on here, as Zipline Mafia is still maybe watching their back here. But all these teams have to move in towards zone, as we do see the zone continue to pull towards that fence line, separating Pylon and Jurassic. That's an interesting zone pull for sure.
It's a good pull for those who were in Pylon, because now it's been kind of split 50-50. Team RRQ will be able to claim that building. They'll be delighted with it, but Elite Esports are also starting to arrive, as Dinos just got eliminated, by the way. No, they didn't. They're still one alive, excuse me. One player from Dinos did go down, but there is still one Ratito left. It's now Alliance on their journey from the north. They've just kind of bypassed Neo and Zipline Mafia. Instead, they're going to move to the eastern side. It's a long old route it has been for Alliance. You wonder where the points are going to come from, as Elite looking to see if they could push up onto RRQ, but RRQ have held strong.
This is really interesting. This is a fight on that Pylon side, like you mentioned. If they win this fight, or whoever wins this fight, I should say, essentially controls one side of that fence line that we were talking about. It looks like RRQ have decided this isn't really a fight that we want to be taking right now. We want to just play the zone. We know that the height is going to be in for quite some time. Dino's just been eliminated in the meantime. Chaos wasn't able to get away from the attentions of the Hemlock of Sacred. I think this is a smart decision here. If the height is in, you should play it. Don't let Elite get behind you and pinch you.
By the way, NIP, 2 in the kill feed have just gone down. And you might be wondering, it feels like we're picking on NIP a little bit, but they were the #1 seed coming out of Americas from Pro League. The expectation was that they would be at the top of a lobby like this, especially as in the POI draft, they had the #1 pick as well. And that was here, on Storm Point. They have not capitalized. They have not been good enough to their own standards. That being said, they are still alive. It's not all doom and gloom just yet, but we're very close.
Elite versus RRQ. The story continues to unfold. Light's going to have a little bit of a peek on the head glitch. We take ourselves over to the northern side. Neo just zipping down towards the bottom of this zip line on the hillside. Team Vision just been eliminated, by the way. That's a little bit of a surprise. And now, we Q and Crew, I should say, hitting the zip line. They waited for that player to hit the survey beacon. They took him down. And Neo now in trouble. Kinatrope Club have just been eliminated in the meantime, as the action just starts to pick up here.
A lot of these teams in the lower half of the leaderboards getting a little bit antsy for some KP now. It means we're getting a lot of these earlier engagements. 15 squads now remain, as Neo trying to get back up to 3, and they do so. But have they done it quick enough as Zipline Mafia arrive? And they're going to be able to take the high ground away from them if they would like. They're looking to just, I think, brute force this one.
Well, Lions are looking at this one as well. Nitro Gate is going to be used to try and get Zipline Mafia back into the fight. It's not going to be theirs. That's Neo trying to escape, but it's not looking good for them at the moment. One player's still alive, but he's running into all sorts of trouble. Juxo trying to pretend this rock is his best friend of all time. It's not going to happen. They are eliminated, and who comes to the party? It's Ninjas in pajamas. They're back to a 3, and they're starting to fight KP.
It's Alliance as well. They got sandwiched, both of those teams. 2 of our struggling, very powerful teams. They know what they need to do when they're in these situations. When you hear there is damage being done, when you hear there is potential for KP, you have to go for it. But it was NIP who were able to pick up those pieces in the end. So Alliance will just retreat. And actually, with where the zone's going, Alliance have been able to find quite a nice spot.
Yeah, I like their spot.
On the northwest side.
That broken fence line. They've got also Rampart in the composition, if I'm not mistaken, so they've got a few extra... Assuming they don't, there's some leftover, I should say. Rampart walls from another team that they can use as a little bit of extra cover. And one good thing, I think, for Alliance in this situation, they do have Bangalore, which in an open zone, those smokes can be a real difference maker when it comes to survivability and making some of those crosses. Nemesis have got a long, long way to go, though. They look like they're lining up a skyward dive. One Kraber shot misses. One heavy bullet hits the other way for Skill Cakes.
Another team that perhaps I thought might have been doing a little bit better in this lobby, although they did just scrape through to be able to qualify for this point. Remember, eliminating the Crazy Thieves by 1 point to get here today. Can they find a last gasp attempt to try and put points on the board, to put themselves into the top 10? Here in our first group games is NIP in the kill feed again. Zipline Mafia losing one to the floor. Not quite eliminated just yet, though.
It looks like Ninjas in Pajamas are just trying to make sure that nobody wraps them when it comes to holding that tunnel. That's what they're doing right now, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. Now they can turn their attention forward. Nemesis are trying to force their way in towards zone, and a Kraber in the hands of Skittle Cakes might be the answer to it. Instead, second option, to the skies. Let's see what Valkyrie can scan, and let's see if there's any way we can land.
Yeah, this is a big call here for Nemesis. They need to find somewhere they can put this Kraber to work, to be honest, because you can actually get a jump on a team, hit a shot, and then take the position away from them, but you have to survive first. And look at the amount of ARC stars that are arriving. Nemesis being bombarded right now.
They are getting shredded. Alb and Sacred are down. Skill Cakes is the last alive, and it's the fuse ult, the mother load that just absolutely ripped away at them. Team Nemesis are eliminated. 13 squads now remain. A Zipline Mafia find themselves pinching a couple of teams here, actually, on this eastern side of the zone. Elite versus RRQ continues, but it looks like it's coming to its culmination as Ninjas in Pajamas have been eliminated off screen. A rough day for the #1 seed from the Americas.
It's a rubbish day for NIP. 18th position they will finish in the bottom 3. Not good enough, and they'll have to be better tomorrow. As, by the way, I'm still surprised this fight is happening between Elite and RRQ. I think eventually RRQ did get eliminated by the looks, or at least 2 of them did. One sole survivor from RRQ, pardon me again. So they're able to sneak past the likes of GK, who are holding them out on the north. So very patient from Elite to be able to force the lobby leaders out. And by the way, RRQ still hold a 13-point lead over Team Liquid, so they're doing the job. They are surviving, they are putting points on the board to try and secure first, but Team Liquid, they are still alive and kicking.
Really interesting fight taking place here. GK, I was looking at it and I saw they had a portal down and they had an ultimate down as well. They were split. Alliance saw that in the skies, but GK got back together almost immediately, seeing Alliance trying to land on them, and they managed to get together just in time to delete Alliance on their landing. GK were brilliant at recognizing that Valkyrie. Alliance suffer. Aurora will also fall, but that is a great bit of communication coming in from GK to survive there.
VK Gaming got involved as well. They were jumping on the fence line, adding that extra little bit of damage and ruining Alliance's day.
Another after dropped. He gets him!
As now Team Liquid start to move in on S8UL. It's these 2 team again. This is 2nd and 3rd. This is almost exactly the same position we found ourselves in the last game, where Team Liquid just below S8UL.
GK Esports have been eliminated, so Alliance landing on them. Even though they win that fight, they're not able to recover in time. It's Light moving in from that pylon side, who gets the final knock onto them. S8UL still inside of this building, with Liquid on the outside of it. We might see a bit of Aussie on Aussie action if Zero gets involved here.
Legacy has that Kraber as well. Puts it to work? No, does not quite. As now Team Liquid down to just 0. Zipline Mafia eliminated, but you're not going to get the chance to stabilize. Our team in 2nd place out at 53 points.
S8UL, 4 bullets left here for Legacy. In the big gun. Looking for some angles to see if he can pick someone off. He wants the big shot. He wants to try and break those rampart walls before he lets that Kraber sing. It's E36 who are bundled up behind those walls, and Elite are poking through the fence line to pick up yet more KP.
RRQ were eliminated in 1st place, by the way, at 62 points, so that is the chasing total. It's going to be difficult to try and catch it, though. It's going to be Elite or S8UL to have any opportunity to do so. Elite will have the chance to overtake Team Liquid, though. They just need 2 more points.
Couple of teams in the skies, one of them Sentinels find a place to play. One team we haven't mentioned in this game who are now involved heavily in the end game are VK Gaming. Out of nowhere have found themselves in a fantastic spot in this end game, and boy did they need it.
A win for VK Gaming will send them into the top 10. And when you look at what happened for the likes of NIP, Nemesis, Alliance, VKG do not want to fall victim to exactly the same disappointing day they just had. As S8UL, I tell you what, S8UL have been fantastic today. The way they've been able to dominate positions and not falter when they've been applied pressure from other teams. So good at holding some of these spots.
Well, Elite Esports have the cards at the moment. They are holding the majority of them because they control the majority of the fence line on the southern side. That means they can play in and let other teams fight, take care of each other, but when the zone ends, it will be on the opposite side of the fence. And they will have to move. Legacy taking damage on the cross. He gets taken down by the longbow of Synap. And that Kraber will not get put to use.
E36 should be wiped. They will. We're down to our last 5 as now Sentinel's also involved in this one. Monsoon able to get 1 kill on board as it looks like RC might be the next team to go. Reject struggling here.
Stingable chipping away. Kraber breaking hearts from Light, and it's Elite picking up more KPS. AUL are down as well. As Elite are peeking through the doors and looking for all of the kill points that are available.
And if they do get those kill points, they are now 8 behind RRQ. Can Elite steal this right from under the nose of RRQ, who was so far ahead after match 4? But they still need KP. Sentinels now start to move in onto VKG here.
Oh, they're making a play here, Sentinels. They want to try and take this fight, eliminate VKG from the lobby, and call this northern side their own, but Blinkzer has gone down. Kassa with the RE45 does enough, and now with Sentinels scarpering, Kassa is chasing, and boy is he taking Sentinels to the cleaners here.
VKG, who are not only defending their championship, but defending their spot here so successfully against Sentinels, and they go right back up to it. Very important they do this, to use this fence line to their advantage. You don't want to overcommit to the fight, because otherwise you give so much space to other teams. They don't know where the likes of Reject currently find themselves, who, by the way, Reject, they get the res, they're going to be back up to 3.
Light's got 7 KP. Elite are on a run here. 3 bullets in the Kraber. VKG not in a great spot. And with a Stinger Bolt forcing them out, VKG are really struggling to survive here. Fun will take one down. QQ's on his back.
Elite have not been able to take advantage of their position as much, with Reject now going up to a full 3, by the way.
ALGS managed to find one. Sentinels do lose the fight eventually to VKG. But can they get healthy here? Kassa has just been knocked. It's the wingman coming in from Axis from RC.
Elite, they close the door and they fence it up and they say, hey, how about you two just fight? We'll watch and we'll clean up whatever happens afterwards. As now Stinger Bolts come out as well. Everyone just trying to make sure that they are not the first to engage, but sadly they're going to be forced into it.
My goodness, it's all lining up here for Light. He's only got 2 bullets though. He wants to make the most out of them. RC are trying to fence them in. On RC back to a 3, now become a massive problem. VKG are down to 1, I believe, on that low ground now. And it's going to become a very no scope, no problem! As Light finds the head of Axis.
Has the drone as well, but it does get eliminated on its way. Elite are slowly being forced into this one, but they really want these 2 teams to engage. But because both teams have taken so much damage, they're reluctant to move.
Look at the fences! The fences are a problem! Now they have to walk through, destroying all these fences. VKG are still alive. Another Kickstart drone goes in. It sends VK into the sky. They'll be eliminated. Elite just looking for targets, looking for bodies, looking for wins. And Elite Esports will take home the final game of the day. And I tell you what, Light, he was feeling lucky in those final moments as he hit that big no-scope.